First one is how educators like myself are using and exploring innovative and very creative ways to use Minecraft, teaching our kids around the world. And then secondly, I'd like to provide some insight on why we think more games should be in our classrooms and how your game might fit in that equation. My name is John Miller, and that's my Twitter up there, and I've been a middle school teacher for the last, it's almost 25 years now. I teach in southern Monterey County, and I've been using games for learning almost since the onset, pretty much. The majority of my students, they struggle with reading and writing. So even though my current assignment has me teaching history, I'm always emphasizing literacy skills in every unit that I do. My students need experiences, and games often provide that creative spark. So I'm really excited to use games in my class. A little background here on Minecraft and using it in education if you're not familiar with it. In 2011, a small indie game company called Teacher Gaming was formed around the idea of creating a mod for Minecraft that would provide teachers an easy-to-use way Minecraft in the class. The hardworking and very imaginative folks there at Teacher Gaming succeeded, and MinecraftEdu has found its way into thousands of schools across the world. Educators like myself have been very fortunate to experience some of the most creative and productive periods of our professional life, thanks to this game. In late 2014, Microsoft purchased Mojang, as you're probably aware, and in early 2016, they acquired MinecraftEdu from Teacher Gaming. Since that time, they've been taking many of the cool features of MinecraftEdu and have been incorporating them into the new version, Minecraft Education Edition. The equally hardworking team at Microsoft have granted free early access to educators this summer to have a go at the game, and I've been playing it for a while now and have been impressed with it so far. So now let me share a few absolutely incredible projects that educators have been developing to reach their kids. This is Stephen Reed, and Stephen created a unit to teach empathy toward refugees in the UK. He created breaking news headlines that changed perspectives for students and let them walk in the footsteps of a refugee. Here's a sample from his blog in case you can't read that. British streets are in chaos as artillery and tank fire levels homes and landmarks. British citizens are being forced to leave in their thousands, heading to ports for boats to the US as Europe falls. Leaders in Africa and the Middle East are being urged to open borders to help the flow of refugees leaving Europe. Iceland, Canada, and parts of Scandinavia are already witnessing overcrowding in border camps, while the American Navy guides British refugee boats into safe harbors and counting camps in neighboring Caribbean islands. After that news flash, students are then immersed into a Minecraft world where they have difficult choices to make, including finding their way across a minefield, making choices about who in class, their characters in class, get to go on the limited number of boats available, and then new and potentially deadly challenges await them at the refugee camps along the way. An amazing unit, an experience for the kids in a class discussion setting. Tate Worlds is a creation of Adam Clark, who's also known as At the Common People, and Johan Kruger, also known as Dragnos. They work together with the Tate Modern Museum in London to create a series of worlds that introduce great works of art to the Minecraft generation. Kids visit a gallery and then literally dive into a painting where they discover the entire work of an artist. They can explore the work, how the work was made, they can meet the artist and interact with him or her, and play games and complete challenges. 3 worlds are currently available for free downloads, and more are on the way. This team also just released today a new series of maps that examine the causes and the after effects of the Great Fire of London in 1666. Minecraft's also being used to teach kids to code. The popular mod ComputerCraft was recently integrated with MinecraftEdu. So ComputerCraft.edu works with vanilla Minecraft as well as MinecraftEdu. Teachers have been able to create and share their own worlds, and students have been able to take along their programmable turtles on adventures with them in Minecraft. Popular worlds like the Land of Turtles and Turtle Canyon include rich tutorials that students can complete independently, or it can be part of a larger class assignment. Students are writing and sharing code to teach their turtles how to mine, how to build bridges, and how to explore and interact with the world around them. Here's an exciting new application of Minecraft that aims to get students interested in jobs in the construction industry. Craft Your Future contains 4 lessons where students work in small teams to build a sustainable future for the city of Newtown. In the first lesson, kids plan and then construct common multifunctional rooftop space for citizens of a large apartment building. In the second lesson, it's about restoration, and students take an existing older building and are asked to outfit and modernize the building's interior while keeping the outer walls intact. In the third lesson, students get to use advanced build tools in Minecraft to create a functional building from scratch. A framework's provided, constraints must be considered as the kids first have to design, then build foundations, work on facades, and add details. And then finally, in the final lesson, the kids are tasked with solving a real-world problem. What to do with a gigantic Battersea power station in London. The assignment emphasizes preservation of the towers and functionality as students collaboratively work together through the design, demolition, and construction process. That's also a free download and works with both vanilla Minecraft and MinecraftEdu. And I'm really excited and looking forward to working with my kids on this in the fall. And as I mentioned in my introduction, literacy is a key component in my classroom, every lesson that I do. 7th grade history in California is medieval and Renaissance history, world history. For a unit on Japan, we explored the social structure of Japanese society in the 13th century and learned about an early form of haiku called tanka poetry. My students adopted personas from the time period and wrote tanka poems describing their character's life and their surroundings. Since tanka poetry places emphasis on the environment, I also asked my kids to construct poetry paths through the collaborative world. They use command blocks to activate / commands at 7 different points along the pathway. As visitors of our village followed each path and stepped on a pressure plate, a line from a poem would appear in front of them. Or game condition would change. They might get a flower, or they might hear the sound of running water, or a sun might set over a distant hillside. Together, we created a beautiful Japanese village and told the story of over 100 citizens through environmental exploration and verse. This is not an uncommon sight in classrooms today. We as teachers continue to struggle to meet the needs of our kids, which can include struggles with language, violence at home and in the community, and other issues related to poverty. We're also challenged by an increasing demand for time required to do the number of formative and summative assessments, and we're being asked to give these tests with regularity. As educators, we're actively looking for more opportunities to connect with our kids. Drill and kill and the boring lectures do nothing except push our kids further away from our goal of them being productive and creative citizens. I and many other educators like me believe that games offer constructive and pedagogically sound pathways for our students to explore and provide many more opportunities for deep understanding and learning than the so-called traditional methods that we've been using in the past. In the second half of the presentation, I'd like you to consider how games you might be developing can be applied to the modern classroom. Looking at the typical educator, we're not really gamers, although we certainly have a sense of cards and board games, and we're becoming more and more efficient, of course, with mobile games. We know using technology is important for the future of our kids, but many of us are still afraid of it. Some feel pressure to use technology in their classrooms, but push back at every opportunity. However, a great majority of us want to do what's right for our kids, even if it means considering spending a considerable amount of time learning on ourselves. We see it as a positive and the potential impact it has on our students. Learning new things is exciting, and we want to share that passion we have for learning with our kids. And yes, many of us can be dead set in our ways, especially as old-timers, but even though we may be skeptical, it doesn't mean we're not interested in trying something new. Finally, more and more of us are finding our tribe on the internet. That old school model is professional development based on the experts coming to us, whether we want them to or not. But through social media and blogs and by making connections with others, we're now actively seeking our professional development elsewhere. We've become much more driven to become better educators now than ever before, and we seek community. As I engage with educators around the country, though, and chat about games in the classroom, there are three common obstacles that we all seem to face together. First one is when it comes to spending money, purchasing games falls way down on the priority list. That often has a great deal more to do with the disconnect between those that make the purchases in the school district and those that are most affected by those purchases. Classroom teachers can be your best salespeople. As an example, I volunteered to pilot Minecraft in my classroom, and initially I was given the okay, but there was clearly some concerns about games and kind of impacts it would have, and our kids are playing too many games at once. And I was able, though, to demonstrate first to my principal, then to my IT director, that this is something that has a very positive effects on every kid in my class. And so now I have my own Minecraft server in my classroom because of it. I've been around long enough to have seen schools before and now after the internet. So we've placed an enormous emphasis on security and privacy as required. But in recent years, the rigid and those unforgiving filters have loosened up a bit, and our IT folks and superintendents and school boards have become more willing to allow students and teachers to explore those previously taboo areas like YouTube and game sites. Chromebooks, Google Apps for Education have made strong inroads across districts in the US. And as a result, our students and teachers are becoming more confident computer users. Mac OS and Windows can also be found in schools, of course. I'm able to use Windows devices in my district, despite the majority of devices being Chromebooks. Hard data drives decision-making at schools. For games to be successful and integrated into schools, we as educators need to document the process and the success of our kids. We need to share our lesson design. We need to do it even if it's not, we need to include our failures as well, so that parents and other educators can see the process we've gone through. But I see these obstacles as opportunities. Schools are seeking alternate forms of assessments. And think alternate means anything other than multiple choice. We're tired of those. Can my students use your game to create stories? Will they be interested in reading more about something because of your game? Will they find themselves immersed in a world full of rich sensory details? Will my kids want to talk with excitement about their experiences? Will they want to share their experiences with others? Does your game include a rich vocabulary? Thanks to Minecraft, my kids know what pistons are and comparators and repeaters, and they use that in their everyday language. Are there any other scientific or mathematical concepts inherent in your game? What can we discover by playing your game? Can my kids collaborate to win your game? Or can we work together as a team to achieve a goal or to complete a quest? Are there riddles we can solve? Can we think our way out of difficult situations? Is your game a thing of beauty that I can use to inspire my kids to create something amazing? Can we create or manipulate music in some way? Can we use your game to teach the design process and challenge our kids to think like a game developer? Please don't feel that you need to water down your game to appeal to educators. Kids and teachers will see right through it. As teachers, it's our job to design lessons for our students. You don't necessarily need to. We're looking for partners to create experiences for our kids in the classroom. We appreciate support in terms of online opportunities to get together and mingle, in-game tools like scoring systems that we can document the success of our students and their progress, and safe multiplayer options. MinecraftEdu offered that in a tremendous way. We were able to set up just a simple LAN in our classroom, and every kid in the class was playing Minecraft from a server running in the classroom, and everybody was happy with that. And please consider the times. There are too many negative stereotypes out there. My students rarely see characters in games that they can relate to. Is your game or its theme relatable to the experiences of thousands of kids today? And finally, I ask that you consider these educational applications of your game and reach out to teachers like myself. On social media, we want to help inspire that next generation of game developers that we're developing in our classroom and help us change the status quo and truly make a difference in the lives of kids by providing us with new ways that we can connect with them. So there I am on Twitter, and I blog about everything I do and all my Minecraft things on my blog. So feel free to connect, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any. And thanks for sticking around for the 5 o'clock session.
Any questions? Anybody? I have one.
Okay.
What game first got you interested in really exploring, using games to build curriculum around them?
Myst.
Oh, really?
Myst, and I wore this in honor of Myst, right?
Which, just launched a VR version.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I can't wait. I just got the email today that says they're going to be another month delayed. But
so what type of curriculum did you build around Myst?
that was getting kids to write, as I said, is very, very difficult. And I start the year with just a sentence. So describe what you are seeing in that picture. Describe the moment. Describe what it smells like. What do you hear? What can you taste in the air? Focus on the sense words. And from there, I've worked through the curriculum all the way into the second semester and beyond. And now kids that struggle with writing a sentence or a paragraph at the beginning of the year, through experiences like Minecraft, they're now writing thousands of words. And I firmly believe it's because they're immersed. They are engaged in that world. And as I tell teachers and parents, for adults, it's hard for us to feel that immersion. But for kids, as you know, it's instant. And that's what I love about games in the class, is that it provides that opportunity for kids like mine who need those experiences to have them.
Great. Any other questions?
For the big room,
is it across all boundaries? I mean, boys, girls, any stratifications there that you're finding some kids, oh, well, I don't like the first personness of something, or they like certain perspectives, or others they don't appeal to? What are you finding?
It is, I always have a few kids at the very beginning of the year that are very nervous about jumping in. We don't play Minecraft every single day. I still do, we build up to it, and then I create a unit that they get to dive into Minecraft and explore kind of on their own. It's a story they're following, but the story doesn't have to necessarily be linear, because that's why I discovered that kids needed options in the game. And I don't like them to give them, you have to go here, then you have to go there, then you have to go there, because it becomes really boring really quickly. So building in those options for them is super important, and also letting them choose that and giving them the confidence that you can follow your own path in there and not just go there because your friends want to go there. You can create something different.
It's sort of like choose your own adventure book that
It really is.
choose your direction of your life.
Yeah, it really is. I start out the year with a relatively small area that they get to explore, but by the second semester we're in medieval Europe, and the world is quite massive, and they have to get jobs, and they have to experience the plague, and they have to experience life as peasants, the good and the bad, and it becomes their livelihood. And then they're writing about them, because it's about storytelling too, and they're writing a story and they're in it, and the stuff I get is phenomenal. Every time I talk about it, the hair on the back of my neck rises up, because I don't see that anywhere else. And it's games.
Do you find that the level of engagement that you're getting is above and beyond what you would have gotten through normal channels in education? That you're finding that you're engaging kids that would not have been engaged at that level in this kind of history, for example?
Yeah, it's the Minecraft especially, because it's the most important thing I've done in my career, is the last 5 years. And it's been professionally the most rewarding experience, because I'm back to designing curriculum. And in education for a long time, we weren't. We were given binders, and we were on pacing charts that we had to meet these standards by this day, no matter whether the kids got it or not. And so it lets me be a teacher again. It lets me explore my passion with games, but I get to see the kids in a completely different light. Once they're immersed into Minecraft, I'm joining them too. I'm not the teacher anymore, and I'm playing in there with them. And we get to spend a week or more. They rush in, and we're in the world, and we're all interacting with each other. And it's a big step for schools, because administrators, they don't know how to assess that, because they're used to coming in and looking to make sure you have the right charts on the walls, and you're saying the right things, and the kids are doing the right things, and the kids can tell you what standard you're supposed to be working on that day. And here, the kids are living out a life in a world. And then what they write about, that's what I get to show. And the coolest thing about their writing is, in the old days, I would get an assignment, a writing assignment. Yeah, a lot of students. I would get 160 responses. And they'd all be variations of the same theme, right? They'd all hit the same stuff, and they'd usually be really bad. Now I get 160 completely different stories. And I get to teach the writing process as we write. It's a middle school classroom of 7th graders, 3 or 4 days, complete silence. We're all writing together, because I write with them too. And we're all crafting these stories. And I'm with Google Apps, I'm diving into their stories and helping them craft and polish it along the way. And I said, by the end of it, they always want to know, how many words do I have to write? They have to know a number. So I say 350. And the majority of the class by the first day have blown by 350. They just have so much to tell, and they're so enthused about it. So it's changed me as a teacher, and I know it's changing my kids, because they don't hate writing anymore.
What's the type of feedback that you're getting from parents? Are they supportive, or I know that there's a lot of struggle around screen time in general with the parents and the children, and obviously this is a positive iteration of that, but are they looking at kids coming back and wanting to obsessively continue with this and having any sort of negative reaction to that?
That's a great question, because it's interesting. And I teach in very southern Monterey County, and King City is 50 miles from Paso Robles and 50 miles from Salinas, and there's not a lot in between. I've got kids, most of my kids have never been to San Francisco. I've got kids that have never seen the ocean, and they live in southern Monterey County. And the majority of them have never played Minecraft before. So my early units, I have to actually build in like a tutorial in how to play Minecraft as we work through it. So parents have been very open to it because most of the kids haven't experienced Minecraft before. They're playing Grand Theft Auto, they're playing other things at school, so they see this, or at home, so they see this as more of a positive emphasis on it and writing. And with the community that I serve, it's a different mindset about what's going on at school. Whatever you're doing is okay. We're not questioned a lot, as we should be. So I'm prepared, and I always, at conferences, I'm always demonstrating and showing, and I always reflect on my blog about what their kids are doing and build them up, because the parents can see it as such a positive and can see the effects of their writing and the joy that their kid has. But I don't get parents that are concerned about that. So.
Thank you very much.